for Flabonga, Monthro Thacuba. With Dale and Tony breaking all the rules. Talking tech biz and straight up chaos. Quick fire guests, oh yeah, we slay those.
Good afternoon. My name is Dale Rodriguez, and this is Flabonga Monthrothacue. With me today, I've got my co-host,
Tony Stevenson.
And we've got a fantastic guest,
Aaron Patrick.
Aaron, welcome to the show. Thank you for being here.
No, thank you. In fact, I've got a fun. Sorry to derail you at the very beginning, but I've got a fun little facts because we're coming to the end of the year of doing events, right? This event year, I've been at pretty much all of them, doing grid walks, all that sort of stuff. You're one of 3 people, Dale, that I actually sat down and got to see this year, because normally I don't get a chance to actually sit down, but no, it was your talk at Fab. Chef's kiss, loved it. You're on a panel.
Was I at Fab?
Sorry,
well, okay, thank you. I was like, you scared me there. I was like, was I at Fab? I don't think I was. Thank you.
There it was. Yeah, there's too many acronyms these days.
I absolutely love the pattern interruption there, because normally it's Dale doing it to other people, Aaron straight in there, and then also throws him a bit of a curveball by what I think was deliberately highlighting the wrong event there, just to really mess with Dale's. Just
make sure he's awake.
Oh, this is going to be a fun show then, isn't it? Because you apologise for interrupting. It's like, no, I usually interrupt myself, and Tony's kind of reining it back. So this is going to be a good one. We've got Tim in the comments. Pure excitement for this. We like Tim. He's a good guy. TCS Guernsey.
I tuned into Ask the Accountant on Monday, not because we were having you on, Aaron, but I was keen to listen to a couple of bits you got on there, and I really liked how you opened it up and you had tons of people going, yeah, I'm checking in. So if you're there, check in, guys. Say hello. Say where you're dialing in from. I'm shamelessly stealing that from that because I liked it.
All right, we're going to go silly straight away. Aaron, if you were a biscuit, what kind of biscuit would you be that accurately portrays your personality? Why? But don't just pick your favourite biscuit.
Oh, but I have to pick my favourite biscuit. Because I'm a moo cow biscuit, right? And I've never known what the actual name is. So the moo cow biscuit is got a moo cow on it. And
the malted milks.
Malted milk, thank you, yeah. But I'm the chocolate malted milk because I feel like that elevates it, right? Like malted milk, great invention. The chocolate one, perfection. And, you know, I'm not saying I'm a perfectionist or anything, but I feel like, you know, if I'm going to aim high, I'm going to aim for, I want to be the top. I want to be number one. So malted milk, chocolate malted milk is the way you go forward.
And that's your personality because you're perfect.
It's definitely not a perfect biscuit. You know, dunkability wise, it's fine, but it's not brilliant. You know what I mean? Like there's still room for improvement there. But I feel like it's the one that I gravitate to as the best, and that's what I want to be, and that's how I see myself. I want to try and get to the best. You know, like Ash Ketchum once said. You know, I want to be the very best. That's what it is.
That's a great answer. Thank you.
And Pokemon reference for anyone who didn't know that.
All right, then. Who's your favorite Pokemon?
Oh, Pikachu. But that's the boring answer, right? My favorite growing up though was, and this is a random one, was Butterfree. You know the butterfly one. Yeah. Because just in the playground when we were doing those battles on our Game Boys and stuff like that, it was just the one that people didn't know how to deal with. Like it was a curveball. They're like, what do I do with this one? You put them to sleep. You had all this like tactical opportunities and stuff like that. So yeah.
And when you played the Game Boy game, which starter Pokemon did you often pick?
Blastoise always. Squirtle. Squirtle. But always Squirtle. Yeah. And we've had this debate online. Like we've tried to compare at one point, and I think Free Agent got involved actually. Which of the starter Pokemon are the right? When you go between QuickBooks, Sage, Zero, and we were trying to compare them and put them into there. And yeah, I made sure Squirtle was QuickBooks just for the fact that that's my favorite one.
I mean, it depends on which gym leader you're going to face. I think if you choose like Fire initially, and then you've got to fight Brock. He's the first gym
massive
leader.
Disadvantage.
Nothing can happen because Fire doesn't beat Stone, but somehow Grass beats Stone. I don't know how that works. Yeah. When you join to Aaron calling himself a moo cow.
Shamelessly
I've got history with cows as well, so maybe it does work like that. I used to be on a dairy farm, used to work on that, did Christmas Day at a dairy farm. I used to be a butcher for a long time as well. So maybe moo cow is my like, is it physical? No, what's the
spirit animal?
Spirit animal, that's what I'm after. Yeah.
Wait, we need to zoom in for this. You used to be a butcher.
Yeah.
And you know, most of our conversations get derailed by food, by the way. Like we'll start talking about barbecue, and so let's go. Do you have a favorite cut for steak? Like any particular preferences? Your go-to?
Ribeye for me is the one. The dog loves it as well, so the dog absolutely loves a good bit of ribeye. In fact, the dog now is you put some sirloin in front of it, and she just puts her nose up at it. She's like, "What's this?"
Snootiest dog ever. Like, oh, in that case, I've got to do another silly question. If you could eat one meat or animal for the rest of your life, forsaking all others, what meat or animal are you choosing?
Oh, that's hard. That might be one of the hardest questions I've ever had to face in my whole life. I mean, I think it has to be a pig, isn't it? Because it's the only way you can keep having your fried breakfast. And I feel like fried breakfast is like that one treat that you just got. You can't replicate anything else, right? Like breakfast is fried breakfast is clear tier 1 breakfast, right? Other than if you've heard of Dishoom and you've gone to Dishoom and you've had their breakfast taken, but it is a take on a fried breakfast, right? It's still there. So anyone out there, you have to have a Dishoom breakfast once in your life. That's a rule. And I'm going to put that as, if you've listened to this podcast, you had to have had that at some point in your life. So, go out there and get yourself a Dishoom breakfast. But I think fried breakfast is the only thing that can beat that. And if I don't want a life without fried breakfast once in a while. You know what I mean? So it's going to have to be a pig.
Just following on from that, this has opened up whole worlds of great conversation about nothing to do with professionalism, but to do with much more important stuff like food. Bill, what's on that plate when you sit down in front of that fried breakfast and you're like, that's the moo cow malted milk fried breakfast, the perfection, like what's on the plate and what's not on the plate, because the exclusions are just as important as the inclusions.
What do you exclude? That's my question. So you've got to have your sausage and your bacon. That's undeniable. Egg-wise, I'd go fried egg. Because
bacon, though, you scooted over the bacon. What's cut? Do you like your bacon cooked? Like,
I'll take it as it comes. Honestly, like I like the variety on it. I like every now and again to have something a little bit different. Like it doesn't have to be the same one. But that bacon for me would be the number one. And if I'm honest, it's just a straight sausage bacon, pork sausage, let's say. I'm not all that fussed about having fancy sausages. Okay. But then it has to be a fried egg because I like the idea that then at the end you can mop it up with your bread. That's an important aspect for me. That's part and parcel of the fried experience. You have to have your baked beans. You have to have tomatoes. But I would go tinned over normal because I like having the idea of having that flavour to mop up at the end. Has to be mushrooms. I'm happy for a hash brown, although it's controversial. And I would have black pudding, or I would have white pudding, whichever way around it's going to be. Like have that on there going forward. Yes. And you know what? A square sausage also is a little extra on there as well. I think complements a normal sausage, in my opinion.
Keep talking dirty to me, Aaron. Keep talking dirty.
To throw another one in there. I like that. Are you a fried bread, toast bread? Like, what's the crack with that area of?
It depends how lazy I am, right? So standard bread white bread will do it for me with a bit of butter on there so I can mop it up the end. But if I've got a bit of extra time in my hands, I'll always try and get that fried bread or toasted bread on top of it.
It doubles the calories, literally, doesn't it? Like
100%.
Slices of toast, fried bread, but yeah.
You don't have a fried breakfast for health reasons, do you? It is that treat. It's as long as you keep it within, once every blue moon, I think you've got to go all out on it, right? Haven't you? Oh, and then it has to be brown sauce to go with it, and that has to go with that meal.
I'm going to bring it back to business. I've done like 10 minutes, not talking about
20 more minutes on the breakfast. No.
I'm going to ask a question that, Aaron, you've probably been asked a gazillion times. Why QuickBooks?
Oh, that's going right with the juggler, didn't you? You couldn't just.
I know you've been asked it. I know you've got an answer. I've seen you answer it in the past, but for our audience, you may not have seen it. Like, why QuickBooks? Yeah, because I'll put some context behind the question. I came into the sector about 6 years ago at the hype, at the peak of Xero. Like, their marketing was on point. They had a whole team blue versus green thing, Xero versus Sage, and they were cleaning up, and people poo-pooed QuickBooks Online.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. Well, I have some suspicions, but I'd like to hear from you why QuickBooks. why not another platform? Or, yeah,
Definitely. I mean, let me start with the conversation topic that everyone thinks. No, I don't get paid by QuickBooks to like QuickBooks. Let's just clear that up. There's definitely a vocal minority of the internet that thinks differently, but I can clear that up. I don't get paid to like them. Look, for me, I still use Xero. Like Xero is a tool, and it's the right tool for certain type of clients. And there's certain type of clients I will not move them off. I use Free Agent. I use Sage. Like, I'm not saying that I am proficient in all of them, but I'm happy enough that if it's the right client for the right fit, and we can make sure we can do a good job with it, brilliant. That's the right platform for them. But the reason QuickBooks always resonated with me is because it's the one platform out of all of them where I know I can take any type of client, big, small, complicated, not complicated, and I can deliver a solution for them. One thing my frustration with Xero is that Xero is absolutely amazing at particular clients when they're in a particular type of industry, size, and everything else. If you're in that lane, they're brilliant for you, yeah, and you can make it work. But in reality, not all clients fit in those lanes, right? There's going to be some times where you're going to have to think outside the box. Like my first example of where I really had to absolutely nail which is the right FMS solution for me, and I hate that term FMS solution, but let's call it bookkeeping solution, right? Was I was in a specialism. So if I think about before I had my firm, I was in a top 50 firm, and we did, and my role was just doing doctors' accounts, right? Doctors' accounts, that's all we did. So there's like superannuation, there's all these complications that was with there. And I was actually tasked. Yeah, it was messy. And I was tasked with go out into the industry, find which is the best one for our firm to go forward and to work with. And because Xero like had this thing, doctor surgery didn't fit within there. Like we couldn't make it properly work. QuickBooks though, I could mold it. And I always like to say like QuickBooks to me is the perfect, it's a tool, right? And with that tool, I can mold it to whatever I need it to be. Yes, I could add on apps to it like all the rest of them, but I actually had the ability to go in, and I built a solution where I could connect doctor's surgery income, what's called the GMS statements, directly into QuickBooks, right? I was able to build that within the QuickBooks ecosystem and build it from there. Whereas the others didn't quite let me do that because, and rightly so, they had restrictions in there so that if, an end customer was doing it, they would get it wrong, or there'll be problems or anything else. And I feel like, again, if you are within that point and you're doing everything in the right way, Xero is perfect and it works really well and really difficult to get wrong, right? But QuickBooks just gives you that flexibility where you can throw data at it. You can put controls accounts in, you can put reconciliation in, you can put all of that sort of stuff in. And yeah, maybe there's going to have to be a bit of a cleanup, or you need a bit of expertise to get you to the right place. But you can get clients to throw that data in there, and it goes from that. And for me, the reason I'm still so happy with QuickBooks is because now it's become a platform, and that from a business advisory point of view has opened up so many more doors for us. We're able to have more conversations with clients, so that's why I love it. But I don't discount any other software out there. Like if it's the right fit for the right client, I'm more than happy to put them on the right software.
Fantastic. Thank you. That was a great answer. I really appreciate that.
All right.
Why did you start your own firm / practice?
Well, ironically, at the very beginning, and I'll always remember this, I did the whole traditional, you go from school, you go do your AAT, you become an apprentice, right? And you go through there. And then after your apprenticeship's finished, you go into ICAW and you're working your way up. And I was in a local firm, love the firm, and I still in contact with them now. I'll always remember the guy came in, so the firm owner came in one day. We were sat down ready to have a conversation with a client. And I was just going through saying, oh, I think we need to talk about this and talk about that. And I was just going through like the notes, basically what we had to talk to the client about. And he went, interesting. When you own your firm, you're going to have to put this in a different context. And I was like, never owned my own firm. What are you on about? Like I am dedicated. I am I'm an employee, right? I'm dedicated to the cause.
Unless you're coming with me, then we can go, right?
Yeah. Exactly right. And then like it was never on the roadmap of let's start your own. But it is thanks to the Xero revolution, the cloud revolution, like all of that sort of stuff. I just got frustrated that I was given an opportunity in one of my previous roles to build this, and they called it, and I won't say what the company is because I don't want to get them into don't want to discredit them or something, but it was the company name Plus, and they were making this new rebrand, and it was this brand new way of dealing with it, and it was their way of, you know, battling the fact that people were creating new and upcoming practices, and they were like using the cloud technology to find real-time information and start helping clients all this over. And I was helping them build that, and it was like, oh, this is amazing. I got real passion out of start having a blank canvas and starting again and going through this. But the problem was that once we made this glossy frontage to it, when I talked to them about, right, so what we're going to do in the background, how are we going to change this, how are we going to, oh no, you've got the wrong answer. We're not going to change anything in the background. We just want to entice these clients in, make it look like we're this, you know, a positive and tech first firm. In reality, as soon as they were through the doors, they're treated exactly like every other client. And that was when I was like, interesting, okay, but there is a better way, right? And that's where I kind of got that itch to go out there and start my own firm and go through from there. And it's just been, I keep feeling like as an accounting and bookkeeping profession, we're brilliant. Like I love our profession, but we're still gatekeeping it a little bit too much, in my opinion, to stopping clients get the details and stopping them, like helping them in the way they are. And I just feel like there's still more we can do. There's more ways we can help clients on a bigger scale and help them kind of get there. Because the facts and figures tell the right story, right? When you're connected to an accountant and bookkeeper and a business advisor, you're going to do better. But at the moment, we're still gatekeeping that a little bit too much. And my end goal really is to find a way to kind of break those down those gates.
And is that like a cost thing, or is that a sort of moat of knowledge and information thing, do you think, Aaron, like in terms of the gatekeeping?
So cost is definitely part of it, but I think that's a conversation that's going in the right direction, right? And I feel like we're making sure we giving value while also making it worthwhile for everyone. But I think the biggest one is that historical. Why tell them all this information? Why are we giving away information? Which is why I started a YouTube channel. Which is why I wanted to be in that realm. Like I want to give them enough so that clients can understand and get at least give them something to kind of help them and go forward. But also I'm fully aware that I'm not going to tell them everything during that consultation, because there's certain bits that they need our advice to understand the ins and outs of it, right? Great example, I had a client the other day got really, really upset with the team because like I've just gone on ChatGPT and it's told me that I shouldn't be a limited company, right? So like it's Dave down the pub, but now it's ChatGPT, right?
That guy is doing some serious stretching ahead of MTD. Like he's going to be busy.
Yeah, exactly, right. But like once you had that context and you took the emotion out of it and you actually had that conversation with the client, you looked at of course we were right and the ChatGPT was wrong, but from the client's point of view, they were upset. And it's trying to break down those whole idea that, you know, there is someone out there you can talk to. There is going to be an opportunity for you to have those conversations. And we just got to make sure, we've got access to the right data, which I think with AI, we're getting there. My term is, from a cloud point of view, it was real-time information. That's where Zero became so prominent, right? It gave us real-time information. With AI, for me, it's RTAI, real-time accurate information. And I feel like now we're starting to get that RTAI, then that's where we can start doing the better. We don't have to just hold it all in. We can actually advise based on information and we can actually make those critical decisions and help our clients in that way. And I feel like it's a big change.
Such a different field of operation when like your clients or the people that you're interacting with have a base level of data that they can rely on and knowledge about what they're doing and knowledge of the gaps in their knowledge as well. Like it will never, we've talked about this on the show before, haven't we, Dale? Like it never ceases to amaze me how people that aren't knowledgeable in like accounting, tax and this field, how readily they consume knowledge from sources that aren't reliable and will fight to the death that they're right about it, even though they're arguing with somebody who's done years of qualifications and training and experience of working with with people who do know this and are qualified and chartered and all that kind of stuff. I always find it bizarre. It's like, I don't know, it's the same thing about kind of going on the internet and diagnosing yourself with conditions and ignoring a doctor. And like, sometimes you have to do that, but just doing it in the right way. But that conversation is so different when their knowledge is in a place where you can talk to them about this stuff and talk to them about what's going on in their business. Not like, have you sent me the data yet? Like, okay, yeah, there's a box that's turned up in reception when we asked you to use, data capture tool or connect your bank feed or whatever, that kind of thing. It's I know what you mean.
And traditional accountants were holding on to that knowledge as this is why you have to pay me the big bucks. This is why I have to be involved. And it was their defense mechanism. Like, well, you didn't tell us about X, Y, Z, so of course we couldn't advise you on that, right? Like, we're slowly but surely starting to see a whole different shift where that knowledge should be, we should be coming at it from a client's point of view in equal terms of we're both on the same wavelength here. It's just we're going to add that value as accountants and bookkeepers, right? We're going to add the value to it. But, the data's there for us both to see, and we're not having to hold on to it and almost pretend like, you're not allowed this unless you pay me X amount of money for it.
Aaron, would you like a serious question or a jokey question next?
Let's go jokey quick, because I feel like I've...
That's fine. That's fine. How annoying, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being eruption, 1 being mild annoyance, is the Key and Peele AA Ron sketch for you?
Yeah.
How annoying is it? Scale of 1 to 10.
It comes up on a regular basis. Yeah. But I embrace it.
It's been around for years now, and I assume it happens.
Yeah. But at least people are saying my name right, because my name is actually spelt the other way. It's Aaron, isn't it? And Aaron, so that's how my name is actually spelt. For some reason, I was given Aaron as my name. So, you know what? I like it. It makes people say my name. But yeah, it comes up on a regular basis.
So it's not quite the same thing. But the film Step Brothers, one of the guys in it is called Dale. And there's a scene where they're arguing, and all I get is, F you, Dale. I'm like, bro, I don't even know you, man. Like, just, I mean, my friends can maybe get away with that, but some random people on the street know my name, are like, F you, Dale. I'm like, come on.
To be fair, though, as much as my name, like that sketch comes up, it's so much better than what it used to be, where I just used to get pocket dialed at all times. Like, it was just, every time a phone call came through, it's like, there's a 90% chance this isn't for me. And all I'm going to be talking to is their backside. And that was my reality for a good X amount of years. So I will take this massively over pocket dial after pocket dial after pocket dial.
Okay, serious question 1. If you were starting your business now, what would you do differently than you did when you started previously? Like, yeah.
Amazing question. Oh, I've made many mistakes in this whole idea of trying to create a practice from scratch, right? We started at first having fixed pricing where we offered not just accounts packages, but we also offered call handling, and we did registered office, and we did what else did we do? HR support, and we did IT support at the same time. And it was like this because Boffix is supposed to be office in a box. That was the term, right? And it was like, we're offering you the whole business subscription. You come with us, we'll do this. What happened? We became really good at being accountants and bookkeepers. Like, that's where we excelled at. We weren't too good at the rest of the stuff that were coming from. And it just created from day one, like this massive problem where, a client would be really upset because their post had gone missing, or they're really upset because we hadn't passed this phone call over that was really important, or we told them the wrong type of internet to put into their premises, and all this and the other. And basically we were just constantly on the back foot with them, and it became really difficult. So if I could start again from scratch, it would just be purely the accounting firm. That's what I want to concentrate on. That's why I know I can add value. That's where I know my skills and strengths are. And I would definitely go down more, because we've been really lucky in terms of, at the beginning it was R&D focused, and that works, but we don't do that anymore because it's too complicated, too much red tape. But also we've done really well on e-commerce, because e-commerce, especially with QuickBooks, really good fit. Everything kind of, we can connect everything from there. But you've already mentioned Tim with his at Guernsey with TCS, and they've gone down a lot of EPOS. I would love to have gone down that route properly. Like, EPOS to me is just, there's a geekiness in there for me that I liked itch. And I would have loved to have put a lot of my eggs into that basket and to kind of been able to build that up. And there's still time, but I think if I had started again, I think that's one of the focus I would have had from day one, is that whole EPOS ecosystem and how we can help and how we can be integrated and all everything that goes in from there.
Okay, I'm going to try and lean the conversation towards AI because it's a big topic. We should probably talk about it. And I'm going to preload it as well based on my opinions. So feel free to dissect it. If I was starting a firm or a practice now where outsourcing or offshoring is more acceptable, I might not consider outsourcing or offshoring because the AI claims are that we are just as good as a junior. And that's what firms use outsourcing and offshoring for. Thoughts? That's not really a question, it's more of a statement.
It's a great statement. Look, I know this is controversial, but for me, I feel like AI is going to be something that people are going to be worried about because jobs are going to be taken, et cetera, et cetera. We've had that conversation. Even Jeremy Hunt's said that, right? Why bother being an accountant when your job's just going to be taken from you in X amount of time, right? But I generally see that idea about outsourcing. I see there's going to be two sets of accounting firms out there going forward. You know, there'll still be traditional, but there'll be one who's made outsourcing work and has leaned into it, and they've done really well for themselves. And well done and great on you. Then there's firms like me that tried outsourcing, didn't quite work. My clients actually were really not receptive to it. They were really negative towards it. They didn't like it. Like, it just didn't gel with them. There was all sorts of issues there. So we tried outsourcing, it didn't work for us. But for me, I feel like AI is our opportunity to be competitive with the outsourcing world. And yeah, you know, it's not going to be perfect at this point in time. It's still quite we're still in the infancy of what it can do, right? But I do believe that finally we have a chance to go head to head with, or head to toe to those, you know, who have been outsourcing for all this time. And I feel like that's could be our competitive advantage going forward. And I think for us, we're in a really unique position where 90% of our client base has come because of the YouTube channel, right? So they already see us as tech first. They already see me sticking on a VR headset and filing tax returns, right? Like that randomly got me loads and loads and loads of content. And in fact, it was Free Agent that came along who upped it by going up in space and filing a tax return. You know what I mean?
Cool. That was pretty cool.
But they generally, I generally have a message where like, oh, Aaron, VR's nothing. You should try it in space. Do you know what I mean?
You're volunteering, so we can combine the two campaigns, and we'll put you in space in a VR headset to file back down on Earth while you were in space. Now that would be.
I'm up for it. You know, I feel like I've lost my sparkle almost. You know what I mean? I've been one up. But yeah, look, we're in the infancy. We're still getting there. But our clients, they accept that we're going to use tech. They accept that. So we're really lucky. Like, if we told them we're just going to outsource your work, again, we're going to have people pushing back on us. When we tell them we're going to be using this cool piece of technology, it's called AI. You know, it doesn't matter what it is, but you know, we're using this cool. They're like, oh, tell me more. And like, what's it going to do? How's it going to do? And everything else. And as long as we still wrap it round with, look, our aim is to, you really like working with team member XYZ, right? That's always been how we position this. You really like working with team member XYZ. To empower them more, to give them more chat time, to, you know, to make them even better at what they're doing, we're going to use this piece of technology to make it even easier for them to deliver that service for you. And that's the through line we've always kind of used with this. And that's how we've always approached it. And AI, I'm already playing around with agentic AI, trying to do a bit of bookkeeping for us. I've got agentic AI that's automatically chasing stuff for us. Like, we're already trialing it out. And yeah, some of it works, some of it doesn't. But I feel that's exactly the same with what in the early days when people were outsourcing. They would just send in little bits over there. How's it going to work? What works? What doesn't? And you build up from there, right? And I feel like it's the same journey. It's just that there's going to be, I generally believe there's two types of accounting firms, and you're going to be one or the other if you're going to go down that route.
Tony, I've asked lots and lots of questions, and Aaron has answered them perfectly. What's on your mind, good sir? What do you want?
Lots of things. So just following on from this one, like I do think, I think that like we're right to be deeply interested in AI as a concept, right? And it really gathered pace, obviously, when it found its poster child in large language models, and you know, suddenly we could, you know, essentially search the internet in the way that we wanted to be able to search the internet, not riddled with ads and bias and all that sort of stuff, right? And that presented its own challenges. I was talking with somebody about this concept in the last week or so, about how, like, it feels like there's a lot of money being put into this on the vendor side, particularly across the pond in the US, which is sort of not the usual travel. I know you're obviously QuickBooks affiliated, so that's the usual travel for you. But like, you know, we tend to play more with Australia and New Zealand and the zero world in our space, right, in South Africa. So it's an interesting trend. But like, I sit back and look at it and I'm like, yeah, it will stick eventually. Like, I know, you know, then there will be some big jumps taken forward in that ability to be able to do the grunt work like accurately. And there's obvious things in there, like if all the banks and the EPOS providers could just standardize descriptions in a way that was repeatable globally, then that would make a lot of input, you know, a lot of stuff. And you hold hope with that, with the invoicing and that direction of travel in that space. It's always baffled me why that wasn't the case. And I've got into it, obviously, with people around this, and it's like there's two parties involved. It's not quite as simple as that. I was like, it is as simple as that, because we put people on the moon, we send tiny little robots into humans to do operations, we can inject people with things that help them to lose weight. Like, we could standardize the format in which data was presented in a bank rec, which would make things a lot easier, right? Not perfect, and then no one's ever going to know what's in that little brown box that turns up from Amazon and what the intention was behind it. Still needs humans, but there's still stuff we can do in that space. And like, you know, Free Agent's been working on that type of stuff for a while, and we've had, you know, that kind of operation within Free Agent for best part of a decade now. So it does. I do think that like it will stick, but actually being worried about it from in that space, because I know a lot of the profession are worried about it. You only have to go to the events and see anything with AI in the talk, and there's people just standing, right? So it fascinates me, and I hope my hope is that it can help to take the steps forward that we thought that cloud would facilitate 10, 15 years ago, which has happened, but hasn't happened at the rate that we wanted it to. And we are standing here now, and, you know, Xero released their report, which says 38% of businesses have got BankV connected, and you just want to cry, right? You know, and you know, ours is different, and ours is a lot higher than that. But for different, I'm just chucking it in there. I'm just chucking it in there. A lot higher, but it's a different measure, right? It's a different measure in the way that we measure things. But it is a lot higher, so there is hope. But yeah, I do think it's fascinating, and I hope that we can get to a good place where it starts to have the bits of it, like the e-invoicing side of it, the AI side of it, the money that would be in that's baking it into platforms, does get to a point where it's trustworthy, and that it can really help to put you in that position where you're able to have the conversations that you talk about, Aaron, because I think it's fascinating.
There was no question in there whatsoever.
No, it wasn't. It was just me monologuing, basically. Yeah.
To that point, though, I think I'm fully agree with you with the bank side thing, right? It has been so frustrating that open banking hasn't been what we were promised, right? We were promised so much more from open banking, and will it come? Who knows? Like, we're still waiting for that to come to fruition. But it goes more than just banking, right? I mean, the biggest rant I've had lately is around ACSP, right? And the codes that have been Companies House haven't even figured that out. They've not even standardized their number, right? They're giving us one standardization numbers, but expecting to use a different standardized when we're using their tools, right? So it goes. I think it goes deeper than just the banks. I think all stakeholders, all parties need to be better at passing data along, and that's where AI is going to be really useful to us, because sometimes when two sets of data aren't talking to one another, that's been one of my best use cases for AI so far. It's right, I've got this set of data, say a bank statement, I've got this set of data, my general ledger. I could spend X amount of time going through ticking this off and reconciling, or I could use AI to come along and do that. And I think that's where AI is going to be really powerful for us. And that's what it is. And you kind of answered your own, maybe it wasn't a question, maybe it was a statement, but you said about cloud, right? This is exactly the same. We're going through exactly the same transition here. Yeah. At the very beginning of cloud, it was feature parity, and that's where people weren't fully comfortable. They weren't fully trusting of it. You know, one of the big players said that cloud's a bit of a fad and hybrid's the way forward. Do you know what I mean? Like history is repeating itself, and I feel like that's what's going to happen with this AI element of it. Right? We're going to have some of the players go directly into it, and they're going to put all of their resources into it, and we'll see how it goes. And others are going to stand on the sideline and go, it's not for me. This probably isn't for me, right? And or dip their toe in it, and I think that for the industry is going to be really, really interesting, and we're going to see which one wins, because none of us got a crystal ball. We don't know which is going to be the right or wrong way about this, right? Like cloud, and we'll see how it goes.
I'm going to break the fourth wall real quickly. Sorry. For those who are listening and watching, if you have time to type, what do you want to ask Aaron? Like, he's our guest today. Ask him anything. It can be serious. It can be silly. We might not read it if it's inappropriate, but yeah, feel free to ask him some questions. Now is your time to shine. Fantastic FM audience.
While people talk, I'm going to ask Aaron. I'm going to ask him 2 questions, actually. So the first question I want to ask you is, how regularly does Johan voice his irritation that you still use the client engager logo on your reel at the back? Oh, it's just come up.
It's come up, yeah. I didn't see that.
Every time I see it, I'm like, Aaron must be doing that just to troll Johan.
Yeah, I got on stage and I still like, I'm loving using client engager, and every one of them. We rebranded for a reason, Aaron. We rebranded for a reason.
And you're like, he's a super user. I know, I'm just, still calls receipt bank, still calls futurely crunch boards.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
amazing.
Yeah.
So good. That's so good. I'm so glad that was the answer that you gave. And the other question was, so this question has evolved over time as a store of FM since I've been co-hosting. Tea or coffee?
Oh, it's really interesting. I don't know if you see my grid walks. I do. So when we go to events, we go on and we try and give you the behind the scenes. We try and create that FOMO, right? So we go around, do the grid walks. And I'm really interested at the moment because, and I don't know if this is on purpose, but a certain vendor and another vendor, one very coffee related apron, one very tea related advin, have always been pitted against each other. Like, as in the stands, there's like, they're always like overlooking each other and right next to each other and stuff. And it's the tea or coffee debate that I keep coming along with, and I keep asking that and bringing that in. For me personally, tea wins every time, just because I can drink it on there's no higher limit to tea, right? You just keep drinking it and drinking it. If anything, the more stressed or anything I could get, it's just how many tea bags I can get into the cup. Like that's what I'm going for at the moment. Like, you know what I mean? Like, try to put as much in. I love coffee and I'm not against coffee in any way, but tea's my number one. And yeah, I'd always go for a nice cup of tea over anything else. And it's Yorkshire tea as well.
Yeah, we've had some other fans. Sam Green's a big fan of Yorkshire tea. So am I, actually. So the follow-up question to this is that was a precursor qualifier, and this is the actual question is, the order of bag in milk, bag out water. Like, what's your order? Well, there might be a few angry people in the comments the first time we raised this.
One can only hope. Let's do it.
Yes, yeah.
So, as I said, I was an apprentice at the very beginning of my career, and I was taught how to make tea properly. So this is how I was.
By club course.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, my first 2.5 years was just making tea. That's
Under stripes.
Yeah. No, look, for me, you get that tea bag in first, you get the water in there, and then you add the milk accordingly. Like, that's it. And over time, I've changed from, do I take the tea bag out or not? Like, I'm at that stage of my life where I like to leave the tea bag in just to get as much of the caffeine, as much of the flavor, and as much as everything in as possible. So
indefinitely until you finished the tea.
You what? Sorry.
So you would leave the tea bag in while you drink it, or
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And that I would never have said that 2 years ago. Like, that would have been an absolute no go. Like, that's criminal. But now. And I'm saying now multiple tea bags in there, because I've gone to mugs, right? Like big mugs from you know, and it's how many tea bags can I fit in? I can maximize this flavor. But yeah, it's criminal, but that's how I do it. And I get why people put the milk in first, because of the China debate, and they don't want to break the China. But who's having China cups these days, right? You know what I mean? Like, nowadays, you know, you got these big mugs. Let's get the tea bag in. Let's get the water in. Let's get that as much, you know, let's let the tea bag do its job. Let's give it its opportunity to shine. Then you add your milk to taste.
I'm learning that, like, over time, because we've asked this question a few times now, and I'm learning that my routine for tea is different to I thought mine was the common one, and actually mine isn't the common one. It's yours is the common one, which is
You're using cold water.
Put the milk in. No. Yeah. I use coffee. Yeah.
Yeah.
I make a key or a toffee. For Gavin and Stacey fans out there. Mine is to take the tea bag out before I put the milk in, and then adjust the temperature of adjust the color of the tea using the milk. And if you go over, you go over. I'm not beyond putting the tea bag back in if it's still available to do so in order to rebalance it. But
so you're not going into the bin.
I actually just drink it black now because I'm really particular about how much milk I have in my tea, and anything over, like whenever someone makes me with milk, I would always say, put a tiny bit of milk in. If you think you haven't put enough in, that's probably right.
Yeah.
But people would still put more in. So I was like, I'm just going to homogenize it by just drinking it with no milk. So I'm actually out of this debate anyway because I'm missing a step. So
we need to jump into the viewer comments,
Yeah, we
because
do, yeah.
Mel has asked a question, because we asked a question. He's asked a question. We need to honour that request.
we do, yes, we do. Sorry.
From the ICB, he's a great guy. He was at the Lucre Awards a couple of weeks
He
ago.
was. Yeah.
How do you manage your practice, Aaron, being busy everywhere on podcasts? Where do you find the time to manage your practice? Because you are quite prevalent. Is that the word? Yeah, prevalent.
Yeah,
in that
but
industry.
it's all part of managing the practice, right? Like the only reason, and not the only, but the main reason that you do anything on socials these days is because you've got an end goal in mind, right? Like I don't know anyone who just goes, right, I'm just going to post for the sake of posting, right? So I do have a strategy. We do have a plan. It may look, I mean, a lot of people.
It may not look like it, but you have one.
Yeah, exactly, right? And the podcasting, hosting, the building up the network, all of that stuff is part of the plan. So for me, it is part of running the practice, right? It is part of the whole world. How I make time for it is, I at the start of every, month, quarter, whatever it's going to be, I put, I look at what time I've got to spend and how I'm going to distribute it. And if I don't have time for the podcast, they would go away, right? But I make time for it because I know that there's an end goal in sight. There's a reason for it. And when there is that sort of thing, you make time. And also, sleep's overrated, right? Like, who's these days are using this thing called sleep? It's ridiculous.
Sleep
right?
is for the weak.
Yeah.
Right.
AI now, AI can sleep for you. Just type in, everyone try it on ChatGPT, type in the prompt, can you go to sleep for me? You'll feel so much better. That may not be true. I'll let you decide.
So controversial. I'm going to mute myself and go turn on my light, because you guys look way better than me on screen, and I can't handle that. My ego can't handle it. So I'm just going to pause, step away, amuse yourselves.
While Dale does that, I've got a question that is triggered in my mind that I wanted to ask you, Aaron. So you obviously are a prevalent and experienced podcaster with the various stuff that you do with YouTube and Ask the Accountant and all that sort of stuff. What for someone looking to get into podcasting or to improve their visuals, Dale literally looks like a ghost then. Like there was this shadow on the wall as he was coming back. That was really cool. Kit wise, like what would you recommend to people if they want to improve their visuals, they want to improve their audio, if they're thinking about starting a pod? Like, talk to me about that kind of stuff, because that fascinates me.
Yeah, awesome. I mean, this is all you'll need, if I'm completely honest, right? A mobile phone. It's got more than enough capability to be able to do it from there. I would personally look at making sure your audio is as good as you possibly can. Like that's where if you got a bit of spare change to go around, you're looking to put some improvements in, always try and get that audio as your number one. And my second is a decent platform. You guys are already using what I think is one of the best platforms out of this StreamYard, right? Mm-hmm. The capabilities it has, the ability for you to, like Dale's doing here, like on the fly, we are producing, we are putting things through, like, and that intro at the start and all that sort of stuff, right? Like that to me is how you elevate it and how you make it something that people are going to want to come back to. And that to me is where I get excited by it all, is the platform itself and how that's going to go. When it comes to cameras and all that other sort, yeah, you could do a me and go absolute overkill. Like, the amount of money I've spent on podcast equipment
you do look good though. That's the thing. Like you say overkill, like the video quality is pretty dope.
There's a phrase about polishing a certain part of you know what I mean?
Roll them in glitter, mate.
There's only so far we can go with this, right? But like I generally believe like the most important thing is getting that platform in, because like you're doing here, right? You're interacting with the people listening to you, right? You're bringing up their comments. To me, that's way more important than any of the tech that I've invested. And again, I have spent stupid amount of money on podcasting equipment. It's quite embarrassing actually how much I've spent on it.
Wait, are you willing to give an FM exclusive? How much have you spent in the last 2 years on podcast equipment?
Well, if I look at my balance sheet, we're up 30k.
No, I didn't say how much have you moved around in the accounts to make it look like you've spent a lot and not. I said how much you've actually spent. I don't.
But no, generally it's like, yeah, it's 30.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. and my earnings from that are zero. That's it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. They are what's the word? They're depreciating assets, right? You can I don't know, do something with that somewhere. In the
I got my YouTube income, so that offsets it, right? That's how it works.
Yeah. I've got this light that I was recommended recently by Jason Stats that is like sitting in my lists on Amazon. I am waiting for the I sat there all through Black Friday week every day going and checking because it's like 300 quid for a light, and I'm like, that's a lot of money for a light, really. It's it didn't come down in price, so it's like I'm still trying to talk myself into it as a treat at some point. But I will need to probably in 2026 I'll have a new office arrangement that I'll have, so I'll get to rekit it out again and learn. Say again. That's
the first thing we'll notice is the new light. We'll be
Absolutely,
like, oh, yeah. he's invested, he's gone for it. It's like any type of I want to say is it a hobby, whatever we're going to call it, right? You start at a certain level and then it just becomes like this chasing of golf's the worst. That's why I could never play a round of golf in my life, because there's no chance that I will ever be able to, I won't be able to keep myself from having to buy the best of this or having a drone or whatever it's going to be, right? Like, I know I've just got to stay away from that. So instead of golf, I did podcasting. That's
golf is like you can
spend
sink
a lot of money
into golf, like on a standalone and an ongoing basis. But the thing about golf that gets you is it's like, me and my best mate played loads of golf when we used to live together, and we always used to have this phrase, which was, and we weren't great, he's a lot better golfer now than I am and a lot better golfer than we were then. We always used to say to each other, God, I love golf, except when I'm playing it. And it's just it kills you, because you go out there and it could be a miserable day and you could like have the most stinky round of golf that you've ever had, and you'll hit one shot and you'll be like, that's what it's supposed to feel like. Yes, I've cracked it. I'm coming back next week, baby.
Yeah.
And you were like, you're 120 down, you've drunk, you've sunk like 50 euros worth of balls in lakes and ravines, you've snapped a club, you hit one shot. And
it's all worthwhile. All the investment. Yeah.
Stay away, mate, because it is addicting, and I understand why people get drawn in by it.
And the windmills, right? The windmills are always in the way. I just don't know how to.
Dinosaur. Oh dear. Yeah. Yeah.
Same with my guitars. Like, you start off with a beginner guitar that costs me about like 200 quid, a decent beginner guitar, and suddenly you get a mid-range guitar, it's $1,000, and suddenly like you can spend $9,000 on an artist signature guitar. And that's not including, if it's electric, not including the amplifier, restringing it, having it done by luthier. Like, you could spend so much money on these things. So much money.
Cycling's another one, isn't it? Like that, yeah.
Yeah, been there, done that, got a t-shirt, unfortunately. But thankfully, that's away from me now. And
wait. Did you say been there, done that, got 2 children? Is that what you said?
The t-shirt.
Oh, sorry. Wait, do you have any kids?
No, not yet. We've got. She's sat here. We've got a dog who, again, has ribeye and.
What kind of breed of dog do you have that gets ribeye?
So we got a cockapoo.
Okay.
So separation anxiety, all that sort of stuff. Very fussy eater. Like duck is her favorite. It's
I want to blame the owner on that one. Like who's?
Oh no! Don't get me wrong. Like we're to blame, but we've created this monster. Now we got to deal with this monster. And kids are obviously on the horizon at some point, but I don't think. Yeah, then we've got the bank balance for it just to keep the dog than anything else.
Yeah, they're expensive. That was like, it's over 17 questions. That's it.
Just gonna let the awkward silence. This is for people who are not watching. This is the terrible part of the show where I'm like, let's just let the silence sit. Because if you're listening, there's nothing to watch. Right now, we're making good facial expressions and
I'm sat here even worse though because I'm like, I've got to say something jolly.
You don't. Just relax. Be in the moment, Aaron. Be in the moment.
How long do we let it last for? Until Dale's satisfied that we've left enough awkward
Oh no,
silence.
please continue. Go ahead. Yeah, as you were.
I think as we approach the top of the hour, it might be a good time to do the quick fire round.
Yep, gonna mute myself.
Dale has to mute himself because he can't resist chiming in. I have a list of now 17 questions, one that I've added this week, especially in your honour, Aaron. And I will ask you about 10 of them. Just, yeah, bit of fun. Get to know Aaron. Question
Let's
one.
do some stretches. Let's get ready.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we'll go through them relatively quickly, and there'll probably be a couple that strings we'll want to pull on.
Yeah.
Question one. What is one skill you wish you had, but you don't?
Coding.
Oh, that's a good answer, that is. Question two. Most hated grammatical error or mispronounced word?
Oh, I'm the worst at this. I'm the culprit. I suppose my own name when that gets wrong.
Okay. That is yeah. What is your spirit animal? We've covered this one.
Badger.
Badger. It was moo cow earlier. I like that. Yeah. Favorite country you've ever visited?
I'm gonna have to say America. Yeah.
Favorite food?
Oh, full Sunday lunch.
Yeah, that's a good answer. The life hack that you recommend the most often?
Do I recommend a life hack to anyone? Start a YouTube channel.
Okay. We might come back to that one. Right. Your favorite podcast?
I mean, yours. Only because I'm a Patreon member. There's a one called the Computer Game Show, and it's the only way I get to be involved in computer games anymore. So I'm happy.
Okay. Your best ever 1 in a million trick shot? Think hole in one, that kind of thing.
Oh, it will be the one and only goal I scored in the five-a-side team we used to. I've got the trophy behind here, and we won that season. The goal meant nothing. It was not even part of it, but yeah, it'll be that one goal I scored.
Okay.
I'll always remember.
The book you recommended the most often?
There's a few. Actually, the James Ashford one did a lot. There was. I'm not saying I'm 100% against with all of it, but it did. Yeah, it was one in our industry that's very much
Selling to Serve, right?
Selling to Serve.
Mm-hmm.
What was this other one? I've got it here somewhere. I haven't read Selling to Serve, but I've read the second one, which was really good.
Yeah, there's that in Traction, but yeah, I think Selling to Serve is mine.
I'd really like to get James on the show. I think he'd be great. Two left. So this is the new question. Who is your celebrity lookalike? Who is it you've had people most say you look like?
So I once got told I was queuing up to go into a club. It was in those days where, we were looking for a nice lady friend to go with it. And they went, "Oh, you remind me so much of Superman." I was like, "Wow, thank you so much. Like, that is really lovely." She said super bad, and she meant she meant Jonah Hill. But at the time I heard Superman, and I was on top of the world.
AKA McLovin.
That's another one, isn't it? I forget who he played, but yeah, you're right. In that same film, and everything. The bit that everyone always reminds me of is Get Him to the Greek. So if you ever watch Get Him to the Greek and Jonah Hill, there's a spitting image of me. Like, yeah, it's difficult to think, good or bad.
We'll come back to lookalikes if we've got a bit of time, because I have a long, exalted history of lookalikes that vary wildly from like unfathomably brilliant to unfathomably not brilliant. And the final question is, who else should we have on the show? Who would you like to see?
I mean, I said at the beginning, like, Abigail will be amazing for you. Like, she's really, really good at that. And then just steal all of the Ask the Accountant network. So have you had a hashtag audit Amy on yet?
Don't think so. No.
Get an audit perspective. Get hashtag audit Amy on. Charlie for a thing that our whole network. There's people there, and yeah, get them on.
Beautiful scenes. Dale, unmute yourself, mate. You did really well again.
I was very patient with that one. Catherine Freeman, mine is olive oil from Popeye. She goes,
That's a nice one, though, right? Like, that's a good one.
I don't know. She's kind of annoying. Not Catherine. I mean olive oil. So I'm going to ask a question.
Superman or super bad, though. I mean, I feel like that's you know what I mean.
No, you're right. You're right. So I've forgotten to ask some of Josh's questions. So one of his questions is, if you're going for a meal deal, let's go for Tesco. If you're a good Tesco, what is your meal deal choice? What are you usually getting?
Yeah, so it's always been the same. And I'm one of these where every time I go to a restaurant or anything, I always pretty much have the same. I've got this, I don't know if it's OCD, I don't know what it is that's there, but I always have the same. So back at the very
common
beginning.
in our field.
Yeah, exactly right. So back in the day, it would have been a chicken and sweet corn sandwich with, and it had to be the right type of crisp. It had to be the McCoy's steak flavored crisp. And then from a drink point of view, I'd have one of the smoothies that went with it, and that used to be the same. And that was it. I'd never really ventured out of that, and I'd just get the same one each and every time. So
okay. Another Josh question. He did it for the festive season. He's asked, if you're making a Christmas-based sandwich, like what's going in there? Like what kind of bread are you using? What meats are going in there? Like, so it was very good. Josh Probate Waters, great guy. What Christmas sandwich are you making? What are the layers?
What a question. I mean, first of all, it's a cob that it's on because I'm from Derby, and you call them cobs in Derby, not was it bomb cakes and rolls and all that rubbish, you know, that you come from. Yeah, no. It's called a cob, and you're going to use a cob. So first of all, you get yourself a cob. Then you'll be putting your your turkey as the base, because that's nice and flat, so you can keep that nice and flat there. Cranberry sauce is an absolute must have on it. Pigs in blankets, if you've got any left over, that's probably unlikely, but if you have, they're going to go on it as well. And then if you've got it, the gravy as well needs to go on there, and you're golden at that point. Maybe a potato or two if you can kind of get them sliced up nicely to put in there. But yeah, I think you can't go to less is more with a good cob, right? That's the way forward. And back to the butcher question, and back to there, my one thing the boss ever told me when it was like making a cob, so bacon, sausage, egg cob, you know, those sort of things, his one ask is that you've had a good job if at the end of the cob, the person who's eaten that cob, bread roll, whatever you want to call it, has to have a shower. That's your one, and if they have to go off and have a shower, you've done a good job.
Oh, okay. Controversial opinion from me. I think KFC are on something when they have like the double down. Are you familiar with that? So if you're going to make a sandwich, use meat as the bread.
Yeah, 100%.
In-N-Out Burger do one. It's called the Flying Dutchman. And Rogan talks about it quite a lot on his podcast. And it's basically just like patty, and nothing else, and some onions and some cheese, and that's it. Yeah,
that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna stop wrapping things up. Aaron, you've been an amazing guest. Thank you for your humor. Thank you for humoring our daft questions, and thank you for giving us your insights. Like, generally helpful. Are there any questions you want to ask me or Tony? Serious or daft?
Good questions. I mean, big yourself up when you next well, you said you weren't at Fab, but Daz, have you got any? Have you started putting it? Because generally, and I'm not saying that was a great. And I only saw 3 this year, so but your little talk and your little insights into that, very much highly recommend. When you next on tour?
I don't know. I haven't been invited to talk yet. I don't plan my talks until I'm asked, and yeah.
But we need to change that.
I'll find out in March, I guess.
We need a tour shirt.
Yes, we do, yeah.
I don't think my ego needs any more inflation. It's pretty large.
This is one of my favourite.
Hold on, let's zoom in for that. Hold on.
Yeah, one of our favourite bits of merch we ever did was our 2023 We Went on Tour T-shirt. So yeah, we need to get you on, Dale. That's what you need to do.
I'll consider it.
And actually, here's a serious question for both of you. Mm-hmm. Do you want, or do you even know about our top trump cards?
Yes.
And which one of you wants first dibs?
Me.
Me.
sorry, Tony. I was like, yes, I want to be made. Yes, I definitely want to be made to top Trump's card. Yeah, obviously. Because I've seen them before, and I'm like, I think you rank them on like this other things like technical ability. Mine can be like -10. That's fine. Like
solid 3. I can get references as well if you'd like some references to my form of technical ability.
Maybe the comment section should let me know which one should be first.
Okay.
There you go.
Oh, that's controversial.
I don't hold out much hope, given that when I had a recent break for paternity leave, a number of people voted for me to remain off the show and for Zoe to carry on.
That was so funny. I remember Zoe got like all the votes. Like, Zoe should be the co-host. Like, all right.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
On that note, it is literally the hour. Again, Aaron, thank you. I'm going to hit end stream. As you know, it takes like a few seconds to fade out, so just keep a nice face while we do that. To everyone who watched and listened, that's great. Everyone who's watching and listening back later, again, thank you for doing that. And yeah. Oh yeah, Merry Christmas. It's Christmas season. I can say that now. Merry Christmas.
Yeah.